Namaskar. Today, let us dwell upon some of the philosophical thoughts contained in our ancient Indian scriptures, which have either been copied or rediscovered in a new scientific and theoretical way by our modern physicists in the field of quantum physics. I invite my viewers to get a copy of the famous book Yoga Vasishtha or Jnana Vasishtha, presumed to be written by Valmiki, who has written the famous epic of Ramayana. There are different stories in this book relating to the non-existence or illusions of time and space. These stories are told by Vasishtha Rishi to Sri Rama. In one of these stories, one magician approaches a king. He went to his court. He wanted to display his talents to the king. He made the king sleep with his hypnotic power. The king started sleeping. Now he started dreaming. After some time, he had a dream that he went for hunting into a forest. There he lost his way. He met a woman there in the forest, a tribal woman, to whom he got attracted. They decided to get married. Both of them married and stayed in the forest for years. They had a son. The son grew up. The king lived there for about 25 years in the forest. One day, he decided to go out to the forest for some purpose or the other. The stories I am narrating from my memory, and this book I read some years back. So the exact details which I am telling may not be the same as it was mentioned in the book, but the idea behind telling this and the philosophical thought which the story wanted to convey, that is very clear in my mind. So after spending these 25 years, he was continuing his dream, but at that moment the magician woke him up. Actually, he had a dream lasting only half an hour. In this half an hour, he dreamt his life of 25 years in the forest. Then the magician said, now is the real magic which is going to come. Then a visitor came to the courtroom. The visitor appears to be a tribal person from the forest. When he came, he immediately recognized the king as his father, and king also recognized him very clearly as his son in his dream. His dream lasted half an hour. This boy looked around 25 years of age. The king going to the forest, falling in love with the woman in the forest, marrying her, having this man who is standing there as a child, and spending 25 years in the forest, all happened in half an hour. And the son, as a 30-year-old man, is standing before this king. The story is narrated just to prove that time doesn't have any meaning. It is only illusory. The sense of time is the illusion of the mind. This is what Vasishtha tried to prove, or Valmiki tried to prove through this story. For half an hour, in one zone of reality, one realm of reality, becomes 30 years in another realm of reality. Both these realities are actually not realities at all. They are the non-realities or illusions of the mind. There is another story, a second story in the same book, of one lady meeting herself in her past birth, as well as her own self in her future life, and all the three of them chatting together. If I remember correctly, the name of the lady was Leela or something. And the entire thing seems to be a Leela of God, a miracle. These three persons are from different time zones and they are meeting each other, which shows that our ancient forefathers thought that we can, at least theoretically, move from the present to the past, and from the past to the future, and the present and past and future are in fact existing in the present, or they are in the now itself. This is what Albert Einstein has also said. Albert Einstein introduced the concept of time-space. Time and space are a combined entity. It is called time-space. I am now sitting before you in my chair. I am not moved in space. Last 5 minutes I have been talking to you. In these 5 minutes, I am sitting still without moving. I am not moved in space, but it doesn't mean that I am constant here. I have moved, in fact, in time. I moved for 5 minutes in time. In fact, I have moved in time-space. You are continuously moving in time-space. Einstein said that if we can move faster than the speed of light, we can travel to the past and the future. Time is dependent on the speed of the viewer. Speed dilates time. If one can move faster than the speed of light, time shortens for him. Time shortens. So to make time still, what do you have to do? You have to move at the fastest speed. There is nothing in this universe which can move faster than the speed of light. You imagine that the entire universe, the entire things or beings or lives or everything in this universe are yourself. You identify yourself with everything in this universe. And this is the fastest way of travel in the universe. You are all pervading. You are traveling everywhere instantaneously. There, at this point, time stops. Here, present, past, future, everything is now. It exists in the now. This big now. This is called Sat. There is only one thing existing, that is existence itself. There is no time. There is only existence. Then now. This existence is called Sat or Satya. God in our philosophy is treated as the embodiment of Satchidananda, or God is Satchit Ananda Swarupa. Sat means this existence. There is no time and space, both are illusions. What is there is existence in the now. And God is Chit Swarupa also. Chit is not the lower mind. Chit is consciousness. That is the higher mind, the highest mind. Super consciousness. And then Ananda is the state of bliss. These three are the attributes of God. There are no other attributes to God, because God is attributeless. Our Upanishads and Vedas says that everything is Brahman. There is nothing in this universe which is other than Brahman. God is all pervading. That is why we bow down before the sun, before the moon. We pay respects to our rivers, our earth. We greet other people with the folded hands, because we consider everybody as the incarnations of God. Or we see God in everybody, everything, everywhere. That is exactly the reason why we have as many number of gods as are the populations of this universe of human beings, plants, animals, everything, because everywhere we find God, so everybody is a God. What a great tradition, what a great idea. all these lives in this universe are interconnected, because all are in fact one, that is God. In quantum physics, there is one theory of quantum entanglement which states that if any movement of one particle or one object here at one place makes an action or a reaction or any predictable action on the part of another object somewhere in another universe, because both these objects are interconnected. These connections are instantaneous without any time lag. Our rishis knew it already, that everything is one. There is no need of further connection there. There is no differentiation between these two. And where is the requirement of interconnection? It is already connected. Everything is connected. The time and space are only illusions created by the mind. God is said to be smaller than the smallest. Our Upanishads say, Anuraniyan Mahido Mahiyan is smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. In all these Indian philosophical thoughts, we can come across the contradictions mentioned together to define God. Because it is all encompassing, all contradictions will merge into this. In fact, there are no contradictions. Contradictions are creations of the mind. Space is created by mind. Time is created by mind. What is there actually is only existence and consciousness and blissfulness. Satchidananda. In quantum physics also, another possibility the physicists are talking about is the possibility of the same object being present in different places. We expand it. I am present not only here before you, I am present in another different place simultaneously. When the same thing is illustrated in the story, the second story which I talked to you about, which was contained in the book Dana Vasishta, that is the lady meeting her previous birth as well as her future birth. That means one person was present in 3 different time zones. It's the same person. All these new ideas, so-called new ideas, were contained in the old textbooks and scriptures of India. Nothing new is there. And all the answers which the present physicists are not able to get are also contained in those books. Only thing is, these had to be proved scientifically, because Indian sages got it intuitively. They experienced it. Their knowledge is through experience, not through experiments. So our present science depends on experiments, probably not on experience. These two differences are there. To the same truth we can come through different directions. Now, more about Indian philosophical thoughts in the next video. Thank you very much.